Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, there we go. Thank you, Judge, for that kind introduction. And thank you all for the opportunity to be home with a room full of my employees. It's a privilege to work for you in Congress. Let's be honest. Our nation is facing some very, very, very tough challenges, none of which are more important than getting our economy back on track. I'm going to focus on 3 areas of concern. Number 1, out of control federal regulation oversight. 3 letters there. EPA. I'm also going to talk about number 2 is the new health care bill and its impact on small businesses here in Fort Bend County. And number 3, our exploding national debt. Number 1, overregulation. In Texas, we've seen the heavy hand of the federal government through attempts by EPA to regulate greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act. The EPA's attempted greenhouse gas regulations will adversely impact every business and energy consumer in America. The increased costs associated from new EPA regulations will be passed on to customers in the form of higher energy costs. The EPA's regulations will eliminate American jobs, plain and simple. In fact, a recent study by the American Petroleum Institute on EPA's greenhouse gas regulations indicates a potential loss of jobs of 475,000 to 1.4 million American jobs if EPA's regulation goes through. This bureaucratic EPA permitting process will cause countless construction delays on new projects, and the increased compliance costs will drive many companies abroad where the regulatory environment is more favorable. This isn't the kind of environment that allows 391,000 small businesses that are here in Texas to flourish and expand by hiring new workers. We know that in countries that have enacted cap-and-trade carbon policies, jobs have been lost, costs have risen, and the environment did not see the improvements promised. That's just one regulation among many, crushing our economic growth. According to the Heritage Foundation, the current administration has imposed 43 major regulations in fiscal year 2010 alone, with an estimated economic impact of $26.5 billion on our economy. These are costs our economy simply can't afford. We need a government to get out of our way and allow for positive job creation. As a member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, I'm actively working with my colleagues to alleviate the stranglehold of regulations, to give businesses the much-needed stability to plan for the future and open the door for Following my committee's lead, the House recently passed the Energy Tax Prevention Act, a bill to prevent EPA from using the Clean Air Act to force costly, job-crushing greenhouse gas regulations on our nation. And last week, I introduced legislation that required the EPA to include a statement about the net loss or gain of jobs that result from any new proposed rule. The EPA would be required to provide the public with the analysis they use to make that determination before the rulemaking process is complete. I mean, this requirement of a jobs impact statement before any new EPA rule goes in through the comment period seems to me to be common sense. It's an opportunity to truly assess the regulations, the impact of regulations, and ensure accountability in the rulemaking process. Number 2, healthcare. We're also working on the Energy and Commerce Committee and in the full House, step by step, to remove the cost and mandates of the new healthcare law that will cause cost to increase for every business here in our country. According to the National Federation for Independent Businesses, NFIB, the excessive regulatory restrictions in the new law on grandfathering will force perhaps 80% of small businesses to drop their current health insurance plans within 3 years and either replace them with more expensive plans or go without insurance altogether. And I can tell you the businesses I've talked to here in Fort Bend County, the latter is what every one of them said they're going to do. They're going to drop their health coverage for their employees and pay some sort of fines and let their employees fed in these state-based changes that are coming. The President's health care law also includes $800 billion in tax increases. The federal government can also raise the cost of fully insured policies by adding new benefit mandates, requirements that insurance policies must cover specific medical procedures. Effectively, this empowers federal government officials to increase costs continually. This is not, my friends, a recipe for economic growth. We can increase access to affordable care by ensuring that individuals with pre-existing conditions receive access to affordable care, by allowing people to shop across state lines for more competitive insurance rates, by allowing small businesses to join together so they can provide affordable, quality coverage for their employees, and most importantly, a lesson from our great state, we can have Texas-style tort reform. And finally, I'm going to chat about our debt. This is a time-sensitive issue up in Washington, D.C.